Well, hello there. It's probably about quarter after 6 p.m., the 19th of October, 2022. And I am up in our cabin, my wife and I's cabin, in Moorestown, the area here. Uh, Came up here early this morning to close it down. As you may well know, I don't know if you know or not, maybe you're new to this experience I'm doing here. This trial of trying to live again is what I'm doing. And this is one of the things I have to do is take care of this place up here without my wife being here. And so far it's been okay. I've had some problems, with not wanting to. I just felt like I wanted to turn around and leave again right when I got here, and then a couple times during the day, and even tonight, uh, this evening, I thought, I just want to get out of here. But I want to stick it out for a little while yet. I got a few more things I want to do. Um, I had a tree come down and messed up the driveway getting in back here. It's a dead end dirt road, and then there's a two track you have to follow to get back here. It's pretty secluded. There's a lot of wildlife back here. Uh, Bears, and there are cougars around too. Not very many, but they're here. And there's porcupines. You got to watch out for those too. I like to learn things the hard way. So did my dog. But anyway, that's another story. I'm really struggling at times, her not being here, because this was her happy place. I just took a visit up the hill behind us here and visited the cross, and I took a picture of her. We have a big cross I put up back there and a little bench. And I took a picture of her there last October when we were here before she went on her radiation treatments, which was the last step of her cancer uh, process. Chemo, then surgery, then radiation. I believe that's how it went. Oh boy. Anyway, that was the last picture of her up here, and it was the second to the last picture I took of her. I took one of her at home too. Um, I don't know why I didn't take any more, but those were the last two pictures, and those things have become very valuable to me. And I'm sure if you have pictures like that or something of that nature that was the last thing you did or a memory, those things become very important. And I've been doing okay here. There's no phone. You can't get a phone signal here, so I can't call out or text out or anything here. I've filmed some stuff, but I can't download it, and I don't want to do that yet till I'm on my way home anyway. And if you're reading this, I'm probably either, I mean, if you're listening to this, that means I'm either home or almost home, because I'll send this out once I get about halfway home. It won't take long. But there's, a lot of hurt going on in this world, and we have our own type, don't we? And we're kind of a brotherhood and sisterhood, you might say. Yeah, yeah, that's true. But we didn't ask for this, but here we are. So what do we do? Well, I'm up here at this cabin. I didn't want to come back up here. I was up here once in the spring. I had to come up here. I had to cut the grass and open it up and check it out. It was a disaster for me. I cried. I got sick. I just and this time compared to that last time, this time is probably percentage wise at least 75% better than the first time. I mean, I had a few moments, today I had to go out and get a chainsaw, and I stopped a few places, and boy, I'll tell you, it hit me pretty good. Just certain things, will strike you and hit you, and a memory or a smell or a song, or just nothing at all, sometimes, and I'm sure you're going through your things like that too. Some of you've been going for a long time that way, and others that I read the texts or the comments, they're pretty new. You're going to be going through a lot, and maybe it won't affect you as much as others. I'm hoping it don't, because this is really painful for me, and I'm one of those that I don't deal with this very well. But I think I'm doing okay now. Yeah. I want to go home and be home, though. I like it better there. A lot of reasons for that. While I was up by the cross, I always picked her a red maple leaf, and I picked out a nice one for her to put in her book at home. She saved every one of these. I found the book the other day, and all these leaves were in there and the dates. She saved them all. I didn't know that. That brought tears to my eyes, but I got a new one for her, and I'll put that in the book for her, and I'll write down the date and all that, like she did. I really don't know what else to say that I can say to help you personally, other than you can watch me go through this, and maybe that'll give you some understanding or help of what a man goes through, and not just a man, though. A lot of similarities here in what we're going through. I I was going to eat some good food here, and I just didn't feel like eating today. I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I had some snacks I bought, and that's it. I'll probably get a large coffee, maybe something on the way home. I don't know yet, but I'm not going to stay, till 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm going to leave probably about another hour or so, maybe. I had to cut that tree in half that's across the path, and there's barely enough room to get through. I should have cut it a little wider, so I want to make sure there's enough light so I can see to get out, because it's narrow. It's a pretty rough trail right there. But I want to go home and see our kitty cats, and I love those guys. They really give me comfort, because I know she loved them, and I like being with them. When you have no one else, it makes a big difference when you have a pet. A dog would be nice, but I just couldn't handle that right now, and I don't think I'll ever get another dog. I had one for 18 years. That was hard when I lost that, when we lost that dog. But I had written some stuff. 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Well, I had written a lot of stuff down over the months, and this is one of the things I wrote. This was 2 months after she died. It's going on 8 months now. And I'll read this. I think it's a page and a half. Yeah, a page and a quarter. A squirrel or something in the attic here. I can hear him running around. My life is full of distractions, okay? Well, it has been 2 months since my Cindy Lou passed from this life's world. I may have, when I was writing early on, sometimes it didn't make any sense what I was writing. I think I would stop and then think and then lose my train of thought. I don't know what happened, but I'll do the best I can. It has been 2 months since my Cindy Lou passed from my life's world. I am more hurt now, I think, than the first week or two. I just can't explain it. I am not adjusting very well yet to my new life without Cindy, the most precious part of it. Here's how I really feel. Here is what my 24 hours in a day are like. This was 2 months ago. I'll wake up. If I slept at all, it would be only for a few seconds before I realize my great loss. I would think almost always about telling her how much I love her by hugging and kissing her, and even go through the pretend motions of holding her blanket and a favorite pillow in my arms and crying over it, wishing, praying, pleading with God to help me get through another long day of gray, dark, very lonely hours, even minutes. I felt nothing but deep, very deep pain that was indescribable. The level of my hurt is always changing, a swirl of thoughts, never able to focus on one particular scene other than her laying there in that hospital bed, dying before my eyes, and me unable to do anything about it. Though I search my heart and mind with prayers and petitions to God Almighty to perform a miracle, as I and we both believed He would do. After all, how and why would God allow Cindy to suffer through breast cancer, the worst kind you could possibly get, and be healed from it only to get COVID 3 days later, which would help finish the job the cancer started and take her life away from me? This is the love of God? This is your plan? To take away my best friend? My reason for living? Wanting to grow old together in the time left allotted to us? By you? I know, God, you don't make mistakes, but how do you expect me to live my life without the wonderful happiness we had together by myself? Was this your plan? Really? Why? Why, God? Why did you let this happen? And I can remember as I was writing this last line, I started crying, and I never finished anything else on that for that day. And you have to, I was really angry at God. I mean, I'm supposed to be a Christian, right? You're supposed to know these things are going to happen, but nothing can prepare you for it, I mean, you hear it, you hear other people, and then your turn comes, and boy, there's the initial shock. Your husband's gone. And then there's the aftershock that just keeps getting worse and worse. It's like a tidal wave. It just hits you again and again and again. I went through all that. I went through every bit of it. I've come a long way since those days, those early days. I really have. If you knew me real well, you'd know that. You could tell. But you only see me on these videos. But I do better than I always. I mean, sometimes it appears like I'm not happy or anything. I get happy. There's times where I feel good, But when I start talking about this kind of stuff, it's hard to smile. I mean, you're grieving. How can I smile and tell you it's going to be okay? Because for you, it's not going to be okay for a while. You're going to have to go through this. And you're going to have those moments where it's going to be okay. But it's someone telling you it's going to be okay is not going to stop it. You're going to go through it, and it's going to be a long time for some. Maybe not for you specifically, but for some it will. Maybe you. And it'll go on and on and on. But the good news is that it'll get better eventually. And I've said that a bunch of times already, but that's true. It's true for me, it's true for many others, and I'll bet it'll be true for you too. But you just don't see that right now. You don't. All you know is you hurt. You are so lonely. You just want somebody. You want somebody to tell you it's going to be all right. You want somebody to hold you, to hug you, to shake your hand, to put their hand on your shoulder and say, it's going to be okay. I know I did. I didn't have anybody to do that. All I had was one thing. You know what that was? Yeah, you do. It was Jesus. He never left me. I knew him a long time ago. I asked him into my heart for salvation years and years and years and years ago. I did a lot of things I shouldn't have done, even though I was a Christian. I think a lot of people have done that too. And he never left me. I always knew he was there, you know. Even when I was doing things that wasn't right, I knew he was there, but I just pushed him aside. And now that I need him, he didn't say, well, it's too late now, you didn't want me. No. He ran to me. I can tell you that much. He ran to me. All I had to do was take a step forward to him, and he ran to me. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I'd be here right now. That is my wife's faith. And all I'm saying to you is, you are not alone. If you don't have a faith, you don't believe in a God or anything, I don't know what to tell you. You should. You should try it. Trust God. You know about Jesus. You know how he died on a cross. You know, it was real. It happened. It's a fact. There's more evidence for that than Abe Lincoln. So I think most of us do have a faith, and most of us do rely on that. But there are some that don't know what to do. And that's who I'm talking to at this moment here. Because you need help. You need help, and he can help you, and he will help you. He's probably helping you already, and you don't know it. But ask him. Just say it like this. Just say, Jesus, Jesus, help me. Help me through this. I need help. Help me through this, Lord. Jesus, help me. Come into my heart, Jesus. Help me with this. Forgive me. Just help me with this. And I guarantee you he will. If your heart is right and you really are serious, he will. Okay? And you know, it's hard for me to talk about this stuff because I never did before. And I was always very shy. I could never get up in front of people. If I get up in front of 4 people, that was 4 too many. But right now, I'm not afraid to tell the world. It was my wife's faith and Jesus running to me that made a difference in my life right now. And that's why I'm doing these things. What have I got to lose? What can they do to me? I'm going to heaven one day. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to see Jesus, and I'm going to see my wife. I can't wait, but I have to. I have to wait. And in the meantime, I'm going to keep working for him and keep trying. I'm going to make mistakes. That's what we do, you know. We're good at that. But he's going to be there, and he's going to help me with and get me through it. And he'll get you through it too. I probably said a lot there, probably more than you can probably comprehend. I get talking about this, I don't know when to stop or if I'm telling you the right facts, but the fact is, Jesus is real. He rose from the dead. You know, You have a body, soul, and spirit. 3 parts. We're made in God's image. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's almost the same. He loves you, He wants you, and He's waiting for you. So I'm going to let this go now because it's getting already in 20 minutes, and that's a long video again. So I'm going to have 4 long videos here when I get going. I'll submit them once I get almost home. Anyway, thanks for listening to me, and I'm praying for you, and I'll take prayers too. I'm not afraid to ask. There's times where I need them. So, okay, we'll talk to you another time, all right? Right now, I think I'm going to make a cup of coffee, sit down for a while, read a book or something, and get ready to go. All right. Good night or good morning, wherever you are. All right, bye.